For the Lipgloss and Sneakers panel, my name is Ayara. I'm a music consultant from MTV in London. Ladies, would you like to make an introduction to yourselves and who you are and what you do?
I'm Jam the Records, Cooley High, representing Rapsody.
Hi, I'm Amber.
What do you do, Amber?
I change people's lives.
It's true. I can co-sign that. My name is Tiffany, and I own my own company, Guild Creative Group. It's an artist management company and an artist brand consulting.
My name is Ayara Pommells, and I am a journalist / blogger.
Hi, my name is Nikkiya. I'm a singer, songwriter, ghostwriter.
Hi, my name is Monie. I'm a classic female hip-hop artist, radio personality.
I am Adrift, Belle. I'm a hip-hop artist and songwriter. You guys heard that, right?
Can you hear us?
Yeah. We're here, and we have women from all corners of the globe and all sectors of the industry. We're here to share our experiences and I guess educate people on how they can move forward within the industry. We'll be discussing women in the music industry in the UK and the USA, programming, publishing, presentation and challenges women face today, finding solutions through our own experiences, and advising artists how to break into an international market. Our aim is to encourage adoption of the best practice for us and for everyone else, circulation of those ideas, and new collaborations and creative ventures into the professional field. Monie, I'd love to start with you. I know you've come from the UK, and I know that you've probably faced a lot of madness since you've been here. How was your transition from the UK to the USA?
Well, taking into consideration that in England, in a time when I came up, we got hit by the culture of hip-hop. It wasn't a time where it was just the rap music itself. At that time, we got hit by the entire culture, and we created a complete scene in England, like a pseudo scene as to what was going on in the United States at the time. So I'm talking about 83. Okay, I'm talking about back then, and we got it through movies. So the Beat Street, the Wild Style, the breaking, and then we got it through early music like Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, The Message. Those were the key instrumental songs that kind of broke into the scene, and those key movies that broke into the scene that gave us the incentive to create a hip hop scene in England, what was going on in the United States. So in England, it was brand new, it was fresh, it was something we just started. So amongst ourselves, we were able to successfully create a scene where everybody had equal opportunity. Then at that time, the record labels started paying attention to it in England, and everybody wanted a piece of something. Every record label wanted someone, this one. Oh, there's this girl from East London, there's this guy from South London. So equal opportunity still reigned. Everybody got signed. Everybody had major deals. My individual determination was, I'm just an extremely politely pushy person in the way that it wasn't good enough for me to be famous in England alone. I wanted to break into the belly of the beast. I wanted to come to the place where it started, and I wanted to take the bull by the horns and go up against people that I was actually a fan of theirs. So I just was everywhere at all times. When artists would come over to England, I would make sure I push myself, give them my music, go to their shows, make connections personally, give them my music, stuff like that, face-to-face conversation. And through doing that, I met Africa from the Jungle Brothers, I met Queen Latifah, I met somebody named Funkincline who was actually working for Def Jam at the time, like an ambassador, bringing tours to the UK and to Europe. Through those connections, I wound up becoming a part of Native Tongues, which was De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, Tribe Called Quest, Queen Latifah, and myself, initially, Native Tongues. And then from there, I just used to show up to every event in New York and just bogart the mic. Like, seriously, I would show up and it would be different people's album release parties, whatever. Heavy D and the Boys album release party in a pool hall. and they put the music on, and K Solo's there, he's on a mic, Kane is there, he's on a mic, and I'm standing there, this little girl like this, I'm tapping the bouncers on the shoulder like, well, when are they gonna, just hold on. K Solo's hugging the mic. Like, when are they gonna, you know, and I'm the only girl standing there, you know what I'm saying? So through doing that, I got myself noticed and I got myself respected by the heavyweights. It's a risky, pushy avenue to take, but honestly, if you take yourself that seriously, you know, it's a pretty good route to take.
It's about being patient in any situation and finding the best
Yeah,
solution for you.
and not giving up on yourself, especially if you believe in what you were doing, you know. So
do you
experience.
feel like you've gained more respect here than you did in the US, in the UK?
In England?
Yeah.
No, because before I even came here, I conquered what we created in London, because there wasn't anything already there. We created the template for hip hop in England. My set, like there's myself, there's Cookie Crew, there's She Rockers, there's Derek B, there's MC Duke. These are names that you might not be familiar with, but I'm, you know, enlightening you to, these are the names that would be considered our classic hip hop in the UK. And these are all people that came up the same time as me. Not everybody had the same level of determination to bust down the door in the United States. Cookie Crew made it over here, and I made it over here. And even when Cookie Crew stopped making music and went on into other fields or whatever, I continued. Everybody has a different level of determination and a different goal that they set for themselves, so to speak. But my experience, I cannot say was tremendously bad. I can say that as a female in hip hop, it was a time, when I came to this country, it was a time where it was always a male-dominated field, but there were people that I was able to align myself with as far as sisterhood, that it really was sisterhood. Like me, Latifah, Light, for one, I can tell you that the three of us, we really were cool, we really were friends. Latifah and I were roommates, you know what I'm saying? Like, those situations were real. So we
good relationship.
Yeah, so we kind of helped each other and honed each other to keep pushing, you know, turn up at each other's shows. Am I performing? No, but Latifah is. I'm here for her.
Do you think we're missing that support network?
We're absolutely missing that support network. We're absolutely missing it. This is a good step in a great direction.
It's the first step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Nikkiya, I know that you're a singer-songwriter, and you and I have had a conversation about the artists that you work with and you would like to write for. What comes first when it comes to women in hip hop? Being a woman or being hip hop?
I mean, I would hope that they could simultaneously exist, you know. I think it's important that hip hop, well, first of all, my definition of hip hop in my brain is, you know, the ability to capture, to captivate an audience, to tell your story, to tell your truth, you know, in a captivating way, fresh, honest. Being a woman, I mean, it's biological, you know what I'm saying? You don't have no choice. You come out like this, right? So for the two to coincide, it's just about telling your truth as a woman. And I hope that it could present itself at the same time. I hope my hip hop as a woman can inspire you just as much as a Nas or a Jay-Z or a whatever. It's just my perspective, my take.
Do you feel women will have that platform at some point where they will be inspiring as much as their male counterparts or those artists that you mentioned?
I think if it's genuine and authentic and if it's truly that woman's truth, then there can be that classic hip hop. There can be a woman in hip hop and it's simultaneous and it doesn't even matter. It just is together. Like Rapsody.
I'd like to add on to that, if that's okay. Last week, was it? The Rapsody show, SOBs? I was there, and when Rapsody was performing, she said, look, I am an MC. I'm not a female rapper, I'm not a femc, I'm just an MC. You know, I make music. And that was really kind of pointed for me because, like, I make it my mission as a female, like, doing this, to kind of really push female rappers, female artists as much as possible, you know, especially artists that are doing like positive things. But when I do write, I do say things like female rapper. And then I thought, when I write about dudes, I don't do that. When I write about, you know, male, I don't put this male rapper from New York. You know, they're just an MC. So, like, it's not even just like a...
It's not conscious.
It's not conscious.
But it's just something that you
It's
just
something
do
that
because you feel it's necessary.
Right, it's that
to do so.
programming, like you...
But why? Is it because we have boobs? Like, what is it? Is it the boobs? Is it
I
the
think-
sexuality? Is sexy?
I think
Like,
that's probably a universal
It is a universal
question
thing.
because scrap hip hop and MCs and all of that for a second. If at the head of flipping Johnson and Johnson company or whatever, the head executive is a female, is a woman, you know, it's gonna be the executive and her name, but in some conversations, in some write-ups in magazines or whatever, it's gonna be brought up, you know, first female executive of blah, 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 blah. You know, why is she just not called an executive? Why slap the female part on it?
I think you bring up a good point. Out of a lot of folks on this panel too, I come at it from an executive level, like thinking about it from a business perspective, and there are, you know, differentiators, and I think that we don't do it for us as much as we do it for other people, just to say, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's like hip hop is a part of music, music is a part of pop culture, but we break it down just so that there is some sort of consciousness and knowing, like, not only am I talking about this MC who is amazing, she's also a female.
But then what does that add on?
What
What
that means, and I think what that means is there's a certain level of, just like we say, if someone's black or if someone's Hispanic or whatever, it's a descriptor. It's a descriptor only because we don't want you to take this as just an MC or this is just a regular person or a regular guy. It's something additional that you should know about this person, and hopefully that descriptor is used in a positive light so that someone can say, oh, let me check this person out because I'm interested, especially if you're writing it, you know, if you're writing it, then it's going to be a great article, and you're not surprised when the MC comes on and she has a female voice. I mean, I would hope that any MC that's a female doesn't feel the need to rap like she's a male. You know, one of my favorite experiences was working at Violator, where I got to deal with Missy all of the time. And I don't represent a female artist right now, but I represent media personality Karen Civil. And right now, that, like, I'm sort of reminiscing about when I used to work with Missy because she was just that talented. So until your talent sort of eclipses how you have to describe yourself just to get in the door, then that's just a period of time that has to happen.
Does the talent have to eclipse the male counterpart?
I don't think you should be thinking about it. I mean, if you're really focused, you should only be, I'm sure when Missy was working with Tim, like, they were friends, but I don't think her goal was to set out to be better than Tim. I think they inspired each other, and I think that
they brought out the best of each other.
They brought out the best of each other, and I think to this day and that's why she still has her own lane. No one has touched her lane, even in production. So that's why she could still be that way. I think if you're really focused, you can't get distracted, and if you're using excuses, I call them excuses, because if it's anything that's affecting you, I think everything that happens for us, to us, whatever, is kind of an internal thing. So, like, if you want to be the best MC possible, you be the best MC possible. It doesn't matter if it's a female, I want to be the best female, or the best black female, or the best mixed female, or whatever the case is. You just be the best MC possible and let the opportunities come to you, and be so tunnel vision that you're not looking at the other lanes, and you're not looking behind you either. You just straight and narrow.
I feel that right now where hip hop is, I think maybe when Monie levels come up, and first of all, I want to say I'm honored to be on a panel with you.
Exactly.
But I feel that right now where hip hop is, there's a lot of subgenres. So there's the lifestyle rapper, there's the white rapper, there's the backpack rapper. So right now, I think as a female, I think is just another subgenre that they're just putting in different categories. Like if you go to a recording label, they literally have, okay, well, this is our mainstream rapper, like 2 Chainz, but Big Crit is over here at, he's a blog rapper. They literally, this is how these labels look at the situation. And this is also how a search engine optimization, if you sat down with somebody who do online, they're gonna be like, what's your keywords? So a keyword that you would give as a rapper is female. So I think instead of embracing, instead of like kind of not discarding it, I think when Rap said, I'm just an MC, I just think she just wants to be listened. But as an MC, we're gonna have a different story than a male rapper. We're gonna talk about abortion. We're gonna talk, you know, we had one. We're gonna talk about the guy breaking our heart. We're gonna talk about, you know, I don't know, clothes, jewelry, I don't know. We're gonna just talk about different stuff. We're not gonna talk about strip club. I did 2 singles this year and all the subject matter has been about pussy. You know what I'm trying to say? So as a female, we have to figure out what's our niche, not degrading ourselves in reference to that word, but what's gonna be our niche and what we're gonna, our voice and what we're gonna say that's gonna be mainstream.
Okay, what she said, I'm done now.
Yeah.
I can leave. Thank you.
But I feel, and this is from a professional perspective, I've seen women, artists, female artists, whether it be R&B or hip hop, sending videos and music for me to review, and they feel like that it's necessary for them to talk about those things to be heard. And I personally don't think it's necessary, but artists these days think it is. So what can we do to encourage them to actually talk about something that actually makes a difference to them as well as everybody else around them and benefits them as an artist?
You wanna know why? I'm not gonna lie to you. It is easier to talk about it, and I'm telling you this because I do deals. Like I like it. You know, somebody told me today. I was just like, yo, Monie actually did a thing and Rap was involved with it. I had, me and my partner Simone, we had this thing with Reebok. We did an all-female cypher, right? Reebok sneakers. And we did a tribute. Monie was one of the tributes that we did. And we had girls, other female rappers, not do their own song, do old school because there's a disconnect because as hip-hop fans, y'all don't know y'all history. So I think before you guys want to speak on something, I think everybody has to learn their history. And because before I came here, if I didn't know somebody on the panel, what I did, I Googled. I took my iPad and I'm like, yo, who's this person? So when I meet them, I can have something to say to them. And I think as a person and us being where we are today, I think people blame and don't do enough research. So I know Queen Latifah made hits with different subject matter. I think people as a female rapper like Rap, I think Rap should be like, yo, female hit singles. What singles work? And what was the subject matter, and let me write something on that instead of writing something like Little Kim did on my vagina. Yeah, right. So I think it's true, because I'm not gonna lie, what I was gonna say earlier in the conversation was it's like all the labels, they're looking for a mini Iggy Azalea. That's what they're looking for right now. They don't want no black, I need a white girl, that's a stripper. That's what they told me. So it's just like, it is disheartening.
They say that again? Oh.
No, they said, like.
They told me my behind.
Yeah, oh no, that's another thing. But, you know, but the thing is, it's success. The only way that's gonna change is something
that they're looking for, and that's all they're looking for.
Because they're going by what's being successful. Like they're going by what, like, okay, like Nikki, they're seeing that as success. But the thing why I don't want to emulate Nikki is because they just think that's a rare breed. Like, regardless, if you saw Nikki on World Star 5 years ago, you knew Nikki was gonna pop because her personality popped. Right. Drake personality don't pop, but he pops because his music is so great. Right. So if you don't have the gimmick as Nikki, I'm not saying Nikki's a gimmick because she can have something. You have to either have great music or you have to have a catch. And Nikki's catch is her Barbies. So I don't know, there's a marketing panel. I hope there's another one. Maybe I can go over there. But y'all, everybody gotta just figure it out. What, you know, they're gonna do the niche for the marketing, or they're gonna just make great music. And sometimes you also have to be honest with yourself.
Do you think it's possible to do both?
Yeah, Nikki does both. If she's,
that's because she has a great marketing.
Nikki switched up completely though. The Nikki 5 or so years ago is not the Nikki that we have now. So.
Yeah, but she coming back. I heard some new records, but you know she
the whole appearance, everything changed. Yeah, not just the music.
You know what? Nikki went out the fucking.
The appearance as well. She got deflated. Didn't you see that?
Huh?
It's
yeah, for American.
She's smaller now down there.
She Nikki. I would say I will never say nothing bad about Nikki because Nikki's doing what she wants to do to get where she has to go. That nobody knows
opportunity that's given to her because she knows it's gonna.
Just she knows, and Nikki studies like Nikki. I would have to say, I saw her in the street. I would never say she don't work. I saw her in the street hitting the pavement. I saw her the CD hanging, her little Mercedes handing out CD. I saw her, grab mics. I saw guys who can't get a song with her, but like told her manager, nah, Fendi, I don't want to talk to Nikki about no feature. I want to talk about her vagina. So I know Nikki has some shit to go through to get where she's at, and she's that guy who she's with is somebody who her love interest. I know Nikki didn't do shit to get where she had to go, meaning that she didn't have to open her leg. And that's why I will never say nothing bad about her because I know she held her ground and she did this for 10 years. There's a video on World Star Hip Hop of Nikki in 2001. She popped in 2008. Do the math. That's 7 years. It takes 10 years to look like an overnight success.
So, she makes a really, really great point. The marketing panel yesterday was called "What's the Hook?" And one of the things that we spoke about was having a brand identity and your music, and you have to, if you're going to do this, if you have to decide who you want to be and what kind of artist you want to be. You have to decide if you're going to have a slow burn or if you want to have a slow burn and have the capacity to do that. Slow burn meaning like Jay-Z, for instance, has a slow burn. He has a career in this business. As opposed to,
it's not just an artist.
And that evolves. He evolved into that as well. And there are some artists that are in it for the moment. And if you are in it for the moment, and that if you are really honest with yourself and you put a mirror against yourself and say, okay, the kind of music I'm making right now is for right now. That's okay too. But when your time hits, go. Because that's not gonna last for that long. So go and get your hits, get your money, and be out. But for people that actually want to have a career, like Nikki's having a career, Jay has a career, Nas has a career, like all the people that we love and all the people that are coming up now, like Kendrick's gonna have a career, like all of this, that's because they have a slow burn. And I feel like when we talk about success,
they build themselves as a brand.
They do.
It's just an artist, and this is a record.
Exactly.
That's it.
They build themselves as a brand, but also know that brand doesn't necessarily have to be right now. Jay right now is not who Jay was at 27. And there was a lot of learning, and there were a lot of people in his life to help him get to where he's at right now. But if you are interested in having a career, if you're interested in your marketing and your brand, spend some time with that. But also, you do not have to let that dictate your music. You don't have to be a female rapper that says, okay, well, I'm gonna be a female rapper, and this is what I'm gonna talk about because, I don't know, that's just sort of what's happening right now, and the music means nothing to you. Don't forget about the music. There's a business part of this, yes. Let the business people do what they do.
It's about creating a good team around you.
But build your team and focus on being creative. One of the biggest things that I tell my crew is, I need you to stay creative. If you aren't staying creative and you're focused on what I need to be focused on, then there's a disconnect and there's something wrong there. We need to focus on what the collective vision is and then move from there. But you have to have that vision. I tell my artists all the time, you are the QB, you are the quarterback. You call the shots, you call the plays. I coach the team. Whoever your day-to-day, whoever, I'll coach the team. We can work on this together. But you're the one that's on the field, you're the one that's on the stage. And if you don't understand that as an artist, if you don't understand that you are the one with the vision and it's up to you to articulate that to other people so that they can help you get to where you want to be, then that's on you. You are responsible for your success, period. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox.
Rapsody, moving on to you. How does it feel to know that you're receiving support from the underground fans as well as the mainstream fans?
Oh, it's humbling. It's very humbling.
Without having to compromise who you are in your music?
Yeah, that's what I appreciate most. With me, it's always about putting the music first. It's like I said, I don't consider myself a female rapper or a female MC. I'm just the MC because I don't think, your religion, your color, your gender should matter. Either your music is good or it's not. You either like it or you don't. So that's what I've always built my foundation on, and because of that, it has taken me longer. But you work hard, like you say, if you want to have a long-lasting career, and you have your goals set down, and you work hard, and it might take you a little bit longer. So to see it expanding in people, it's, you know, I appreciate that a lot. You know, it's something
Amber, I know that you've had some trouble coming through, especially before creating the organisation. Can you tell us a bit more about your organisation?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I created Women in the Move. I started my recording label in 2002. I was inside of high school. I won a grant from, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Goldman Sachs. I won a grant for a business, so that's what I used to start my business. And I noticed that I emailed for internship all the girls, and nobody hit me back, and a guy hit me back. A guy, you know, various reasons why a guy would want a girl to work with them. And, you know, so when I got over into the business, I kind of was just like, yo, we have to really work together as females and really just put money in each other's pockets. I can't tell you how much I see my male friends, they're millionaires because they're putting money in each other's pockets. Like, I feel like, yo, like Tiff does brand, I should be like, yo, Tiff, I have this project, here's 100,000. That's how we're gonna be rich. And I wanted to, no, I'm being serious. I wanted to, you know, build a commodity. And I go to industry events, I go to conferences. I have made more connections off of producing my own panels, which I produce every March. More connections off of that than any other thing. I have done serious deals. I have met people like herself, and with you know, with Mona. Like, I just have met so many people from doing this, from doing my own panels, inviting people to come out because it's opened a line of communication than any other thing that I've done. So I would say, as an artist, the best thing to do is to invest in going to these conferences, because you need to meet people there, and then from there you just need to build a relationship in the struggles. And it's still a struggle, but it's like, women, we all on this panel.
Very much about what you said earlier about researching the people that you may meet at these events, or who is going to be attending. It's good to go there with the knowledge of who is going to be at those events also.
Yes.
Not just turn up.
Not just to turn up and just try to figure it out by somebody speaking. Because you might, I could do 100 things. Let's say if I only came up and I didn't mention that I did a single deal this year too. You probably just think, okay, this is some chick that does panel. No, I mean, people over $1 million this year. Like, you serious? Like, no, like, that's why you have to really research, because the artists credit people. People will be like, hey, shout out to this person, shout out to this person. An artist that I have on VH1 now, he's in the room. Like, you know, nobody knows him, but you about to see him on a hip hop show, because, like, you know, when you're doing stuff for these people, it's just like you have to do your research, because you won't know, because we're behind the scenes. Tiff makes it happen, like Tiff, like, you know, and I'm saying everybody on this panel makes it, but I know Tiff, so that's what I'm saying. You have to talk to people, because you don't know who you might be missing this in the hallway, you know, or you don't know who's gonna be the intern, because I was an intern, and who's gonna give the music to the DJ. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't know, so you have to talk to everybody. You have to be utmost respectful to everybody, and you have to, you know, just know your stuff and do your research. Going back to rap, I just want to say, with being mainstream, I don't know if you guys know, but her song is actually on Hot 97, and the rap's music, which Hot 97 is the biggest station in New York City, and it was a really refreshing to hear something like that. You know, so it's slowly getting there, but you gotta remember, you're competing with millions of dollars. Sorry, these labels and even independent. Just because people say independent don't mean they don't have no money. These people have millions of dollars. So when you're competing like that, you're really just, as an artist, you're either looking for an investor or you're looking for an opportunity where the right monetary funds could be put for your career to go to, you know, to the next level.
As an artist, I feel it's definitely necessary for you to have a plan of where and direction of where you need to go also, before you go and approach anybody else about what you need.
Well, I think as an artist, I think every artist has a plan. I just think I don't want to say every artist.
Not really.
No. I'm sorry. I'm around like her. Like, when I met her, she had her F laid out. Sorry, I like the correct. She had her stuff laid out. This was in February, you know. And I just told her, I was like, yo, rapper, what's your album? She's like, did you hear it? I'm like, no, not yet. I'm on the move. But I supported you. The minute I saw it, woo. But boy, like, you know, it's nothing, because I want her as a female. Whatever my little, whatever dollars was, 10, 11, I don't know, whatever, iTunes, whatever it was, it's like, it's just supporting something that doesn't have no support. She could have X, Y, and Z behind her, it doesn't matter. It's monetary support, and you can't compete with the beast. You know, so if at bare minimum we could all retweet or all speak about somebody like, you know, come together. Hey, Tiff artist Chris Cavanaugh, she, you know, just show community. If we show community as women, and let's say we all retweeted everything that we were all doing for 1 week, we're gonna get more followers, we're gonna do this. It's just stuff like, little stuff like that we just need to start doing as women before we could point the finger somewhere else.
You know what, to back Amber up, that's really important, but even what's more important than that is also knowing that you don't have to look outside of your community to give you validation, you know. So you don't have to, as a rapper, a female rapper, or as a executive, I don't need like Russell to pass me a baton, or I don't need Stout to pass me a baton, or whatever the case is. That's what I mean by, you know, just running and being in your lane and making sure that you are doing
having that knowledge and creating that path for yourself rather than expecting something
exactly.
else.
And that's why groups like Odd Future and TDE and all these groups, people feel like, oh, where'd they come from? It's not where they come from. They built their own culture. They built their community. They built, you know, K-pop is a great example of that. Korean pop music. You cannot, I like to curse too, you can't fuck with K-pop. Like that is a money maker like crazy. And they don't care. JYP, there's a group, I'm gonna go on tangent. There's a group called Wonder Girls. It's done by this cat named JYP. He's a huge Korean pop star. He built a company called JYP Entertainment. He has a group called Wonder Girls. This guy has artists, and he has them all living in the same house. He has them on salary. So it's not like you're an artist because you're so creative and I think that you're the best writer and singer or whatever. No, you got a job. You're on salary, you're going to rehearsal, you're gonna put out this record, you're gonna do this video. Like that's a business. Can you imagine as an artist if you got a salary versus your royalties, your merch money, all that stuff? That doesn't go to you in this situation. I only mention that because the way, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm just saying it's a very smart thing to do because I can't tell the difference. If one of those Wonder Girls, you get your money for who? Because if you don't put all this money into it, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying this guy put all this money into investing into this group. If one of those girls was like, I don't want to do this anymore,
You'll find a replacement in a heartbeat.
He's like, okay, that's cool. You know, it's just like, here's your severance package. You know, like that's amazing to me that that's the way other people think about the music business, and we think about it in this way, which
But do you feel most people? I can only speak from the people that I've spoken to. Most people want to become a musician or want to become part of the industry because they do want to make money. It's not about creativity anymore. That's where the problem is. And when you're a creative individual, you need to channel that somewhere. And when your motivation is just money, then you have a problem. No matter how great your team is, no matter how great your product is, you yourself is going to become your problem.
Well, that's when you become what I said before is like when you have that 15 minutes, maybe like 13:59 or something, you have to just get your money and get out and know that that's what you came for. Like there are people that are in the business that are like, I'm strictly gonna just do this and I'm good. And y'all,
they're quite open about it.
And they're open about it.
There are artists out there that are just like, we're out here to just make the money. And
I
kind of
find it
respect
necessary and I don't really care.
Respect the upfrontness. I'd rather someone be honest with me than you know what it is.
And that's across all genres of music too. It's not even just hip hop, but it's just very interesting how we, as a culture, because we are so attached to, because we built this culture, and you know, when you spoke about, you know, how your crew and your set built that culture in London, like you probably can't even imagine that there would be somebody, because you're so close to it and it's such an emotional thing, you can't even imagine that somebody would come into it and say, you know what, I'm just going to do this one thing, kind of affect it, and then jump ship and not be attached to it at all. And that's how I kind of feel about these one-hit wonders and people that are just in it for the money. They're just in it to sort of take advantage of what a lot of people have worked for to build, and then dip. And there are people that there are labels that support that.
Yeah, and they need support.
And they make money also, which is why they support that.
And we have to be really clear and honest when you are dealing with a label. Know that that's your adversary. That's not your friend. You know, that's a business, and that's why there's managers, because managers should have the artist's best interest at heart, and
what they do is another story.
have their best, yeah, because that's why there needs to be an in between the beast, as you say, the beast and the machine and the artist, and that should be your management team, so that they can work in your best interest to make sure you're getting the best deals possible, to make sure that you're not being stretched too thin, to make sure that your creativity is not compromised because somebody needs an album out by a certain date. You know, like, you have to make sure that
It's a production line.
yeah, it's a production line, so you have to make sure that you're getting what you need out of your whole team. And
And you know what you just said about the manager being important, I find that to be very true. I deal with a lot of managers often who like contact me to write for their artists. Like, I write for a lot of independent artists, some popular artists, whatever. And there was this 14-year-old young lady a few months back. Her manager came to me and said, when I saw that ass, I thought of Beyonce when she first started. She gonna make some money. Can you get her in the studio and write with her? Now,
How old is she again?
she was 14.
Oh, okay, just wait.
And he was grown, worms type of dude, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, me and my team, we kind of took that information back and we were like, you know, we have little cousins, we have little sisters, you know what I'm saying? Do we really want to entertain this even for $1? But like you said, it's the beast. It's like, you know, this is my passion. I can write a song for a 14-year-old. I can do it genuinely.
Did you do it? Did you write the song?
I did, but we didn't record it. We didn't do work, well, because he didn't have his money together.
But you wouldn't
But-
figure if he did?
Only because he was part of he was part of our team's upper management too. Like, he was bringing in another person. She was the new person, and I was going to be her writer. You know, so we already have a team. You know, I work with Yellow
But
Wolf.
then in writing the song and taking the information that he had initially given you, so you can understand his perspective of where he's coming from. Did he interfere with how you
No.
with how you wrote the
Because
song?
my integrity, I have a little sister. I have godchildren. I wrote her an age-appropriate song.
Okay.
It was cute. And when she came in to work with me, she had to like be a child. Like, I was like some auntie shit. Like, you know what I mean? So from
So
my
as a
perspective,
singer-songwriter, as an artist, you have a responsibility to other young women who want to be part.
and that's the cross that I bear. But from his perspective, he didn't see it. But what he don't know is I can take that 14-year-old who he thinks is sexy and make her cute and fresh and pop, and not sexy. She's, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think
Lucky.
14 and sexy should be the
ever,
same.
ever. But just because I am a writer and this is my passion, and I'm not connected to the beast of making money, I can do that for a 14-year-old, and it'll be okay. It's not gonna be trifling.
Drift, do you feel as an artist you have a responsibility to other young women? This afternoon I was talking to Monie, and she was talking about how she feels that she's opened doors for other female artists to come through, whether they be from London or from the US. How do you feel you, I guess, contribute to that?
Well, being in Atlanta, you have a lot of up-and-coming female artists, and I help them out. Not because, you know, we're females, because we're MCs or anything other than I have, like you just said, a little sister. I have little cousins. I've seen things happen here, even though, you know, my circle is a more indie circle. We don't have that much influence, but I've seen some really shady things happen to males, but mostly females. So, me personally, it's my responsibility. I'm a Christian. That's what I'm gonna do. But on the flip side of that, sometimes you get caught up in being yourself, and they see the real you, and you have to kind of combat it. So, I mean, for me, it's a double-edged sword. You want to help people out, but you don't want to appear all angelic. So when they see you for real, they're like, oh no, you know what I mean? So I try to keep it 100 with them, and if I can help them, I help them, and if I can't, I can't.
How do you ladies feel you contribute personally to or help bring other young people into building your communities? Do you have organisations very similar to what Amber does?
I'm a part of a couple of things. One is WEAN. WEAN is an organization that is empowering women in entertainment, and they do different things like leadership academies, like different things like that. So these kind of focus group type of things, so that you get kind of a day or two's worth of drilling of, you know, let's do some faux interviews, let's, you know, what's appropriate to wear, what, you know, these types of things. But a lot of the organizations that I'm a part of are not necessarily just straight up catered to like women in hip hop or anything like that. They're organizations that have programs that I'm a part of that I work on, you know. So like Council of Urban Professionals, it has a lot of finance people, it has a lot of different, you know, private sector type of things in it, but they have, you know, entertainment dinners and networking sessions, and, you know, that I speak on and do that sort of stuff. So not, aside from lead, not formally, but I make it my business on a one-to-one personal level. If I see somebody, especially if I hire people, young people to work with me, when I see somebody that I think has it from an executive business mind, I'm like, come here, so like, let me talk to you. But other than that, nothing too formalized.
Can I ask the panel something?
Of course you can.
In something that was mentioned earlier in the discussion about, you know, little things that we can do to help each other as women, because, you know, in a perfect world, we would just be, and we've always been fighting for the equality, especially in hip hop, to be just MCs. That's it. This is what we do. We hold the mic the same way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are as lyrically apt, if not better, than a lot of these dudes now. Can we not just be accepted as female MCs? Unfortunately, in the climate of forever, because of the fact that it has always been an overly male-dominated field and music genre, we've never had that completely where it's just been MC and nothing. That we've always had that female thing. It irks the crap out of me too. I've learned to not focus on it, and I've learned to ignore it, and I've learned to push for the things that we deserve. And we've had our moments as females in hip hop. We've had our moments. There was a time when we were really like, it was cliche. Shantae knocked down several doors because she was straight up toe-to-toe battling with dudes, flat out. She inspired a set of people. She inspired me to not be a closet bathroom toothbrush rapper anymore, and allowed people to understand that this is what I do, and I was serious about it also. I'm sure that, and I would like to think that there's somebody along the way that I inspired, Latifah, you know what I'm saying? Latifah, Me, Light, all of them, everybody, a force at that time. So we've had our moment when it was a whole bunch of women out. There was the ones that I mentioned, there was Boss, there was the sexy spandex, Oaktown 357, you know what I'm saying? The Trim, Salt and Pepper, you know what I'm saying? There was several of us all out at the same time. Everybody had records out. Everybody was on legitimate tours. Everybody was selling units. Like all different spectrums of females. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of us didn't necessarily like each other. I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't on some, it was never on some, you can't do this because I'm doing it. All these, it was never, you can't do this because I'm doing it. All these bitches need to do this and do that. Like every time I hear 9 out of 10 female rap records today,
I think that's a US thing.
It's
because
always
in the UK, there is definitely a unity.
Is there?
There's a unity, yeah, with the upcoming.
And I think it's very much a US.
So here's what my question was. In the climate of that, I want to help more. I really do. I want to help more sisters. I want to mentor more sisters, stuff like that. But it's like I sit there and I listen to the stuff. There was a little girl in here.
Yeah, that's because. Okay.
I listen to the shit that they say. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm saying to myself, like, I don't even like your I don't even like your aura, because the way you're rhyming and the things that you're saying it's like if you're on stage and you're being it's past competitiveness. It's like, I'm doing this, so you can't do it.
Is that the label grooming them though? Because when I speak to people about that, they
That's
say
not the label,
that
that's
they
them.
feel that the artists are kind of groomed to
Why
be
can't they be
pit
two
against
people
each other.
making money though? Why can't they be two successful
Meanwhile,
people?
it's 6 dudes on crew records.
Right.
It'd be 10 dudes on crew records, and they be
But that
dope.
goes
You know
back
what I'm
to
saying?
what Megan just said. Guys put money in each other's pockets, and it goes back to what the
So it's about educating other women to do the same thing.
I think one, I think there's a few things, but I'm just gonna try to keep it short. One, all right, when I first introduced myself, I said I change people's lives. As a woman, that's hard for me to say because we're taught not to be cocky. My older peers were like, yo, Amber, if you go to a label, women run it, but you don't know their names. Why? Because the men take the credit. So I feel that rap should be like, yo, I'm the hottest MC, period. Bye. That's how I feel, because I feel like if we don't be confident in ourselves, nobody's gonna be confident. Because I'm gonna tell you, I think everybody has done a lot of stuff, but we don't say, hey, I did this, and men do. And I feel, one, that's the problem. I feel like we don't forget somebody else. We don't say, hey, I did this, whatever. So when I came here, it was kind of like, this is a small room. If I was doing anyway, I couldn't say that in front of a group, but it's like you have to practice and really learn confidence. I think as women, we all have self-confidence. I could attest to that. I'm sure you guys could, but I think the confidence when saying, hey, I did this is number one.
Okay.
I think it goes back to, sorry to interrupt, I think it goes back to confidence. Like, I think that people have to say that to themselves and have to downplay somebody so they can feel better. Have you ever been like, you know, with somebody that maybe been like overweight and they'll be like, oh, you're too skinny. That's somebody's confidence. Like, you gotta remember when people say a comment to you, where's the comment coming from? So with a female, I just think that they think that there's not enough money because they're not listening to Monie. Monie, we have to.
Never asked them,
Yeah.
never checked to see if there is.
But we go, you know, you're the leader, you gotta send this webisode out so everybody can watch it, put an email blast for female rappers so they can watch it. But really, they have to really think that there's other slots because they're taught that there's not. So they're thinking, yo, I'm trying to get out the hood, or I'm in this situation, I'm messed up, F her, I gotta get mine. In America, it's like that. F her, I gotta get mine. F anybody, I gotta get mine.
It's hindering us though.
It is hindering us.
That's where the problem comes in. It's okay having that confidence and saying, you know what, I'm the hottest out. But then when you can't even be in the same room, when you can't make projects together, then it's a real issue. Because dudes will do that though.
But see, Kanye says that he's the best, and Jay-Z thinks he's the best.
And
but
they
can
work
go on
together.
tour.
But they can work together.
Because they're both confident within their skill, and they both think that they're the best. If Rap thinks she's the best, and the girl, what's your name? I'm sorry. Adrift thinks that she's the best, then okay, that's what they think. And that's her opinion. It's just her opinion.
Right.
Don't be bothered by somebody's opinion.
But where is that crazy thing with the women? Where is that crazy thing that happens where big ego man, you just said one name.
Yeah, I know.
Other big ego man, you just said the other name. Right? Two big ego men. And yet and still, it'll be a whole album with the two big ego men.
It's their business.
So it's and I'll even say it like it's amongst us too, our big ego. Do you think for one second that I thought that Latifah was better than me? Hell no. Do you think for one second that Latifah thought I was better than her? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? And when we wrote that song, I wish you could have been a fly on the wall when we actually recorded Ladies First. She was in one corner of the studio, I was in another corner of the studio, and the beat was on, and I wrote 6 lines and ran over to her and was like, yo, listen to this. And I kicked it, and she was like, oh, that's dope.
And she did her song.
You know what I'm saying? And had the ill face, right? I go back to my corner, she writes 6 lines, she come up to me, yo, listen to this. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 egos.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's 2 egos in the room.
The thing is that this is in business in period. Everybody's heard about the story about, you know, like Puff and Steve, right? But like, everybody's heard about that. That was a situation where even later, Steve went to go and market Puff's cologne Unforgivable. They still make money together. They made money, they still make money together. And that was a very much a situation that was screwed up, you know. But I think that my point is that there's still collaboration. I could look you in the eye and be like, I don't like you. I don't like you. Oh my God, I don't like you. I would never invite you to my house to my mom's. I wouldn't do anything for you. Yeah. However, if you said, yo, Tiff, there's this project that I'm working on. I know X, Y, Z, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And I could use your expertise. And I can use your expertise, and it's some money involved. What I like about you, I just started to like you just now, just now, because I know at bare minimum, I can at least do business with you. And I don't have to like you to do business with you. And that's what and I think that when it comes to any sort of business, whether it's creative or not, if you have a mind to just getting the job done, if you have a mind to just say, you know what, there's work to do, then everything else sort of falls away. Ain't nobody asking you guys to hang out at the pizza shop. Like, nobody's asking you to hang out with this person. You just need to get your job done. Mm-hmm. And if people looked at this like, you know what people would really love to see? You know what, if Nikki was like, yo, Kim, I gotta go pee. Oh, this is scary territory. Oh no, it would be beautiful though. Let's make a record together. You're right. Then I really appreciate you. I think you're great. Da 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 da. And it could have happened. It has happened in the past. But your eyes have got to be on how can we collaborate? How can we make more money together? How can we support each other? Which was your original, I think, point earlier, was that if your mind is always on the goal of how can this get bigger, nothing works without a community, a movement, or whatever. And if you are looking outside of yourself to give, for someone else to give a stamp on this community of female MCs or whatever, or female anything, then that's a bad place to start, because no one's going to do that.
Where do you think we suffer as women? Because I'm still waiting for the Thelma and Louise album that never happened. I'm still waiting. You remember that? Does everybody remember that? Mm-hmm. Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown was supposed to do an album called Thelma and Louise. It never happened. It's something about women that we need to wrap it up and get over it.
Way too emotional. Kind of bouncing off what you said, Amber, and what I've been told in the studio. They always tell me, boss up. Drop your feelings. I'm always like, oh God, you know, that didn't sound good. Should I say something to it? You know, that didn't sound good. I don't want to hurt their feelings. And the male producers in the room will always say, boss up, get rid of your feelings. It's about this bread. It's about getting the product done. Do it. But women, we're like, oh God, you know, she don't like me. Oh, she was looking at my shoes funny. Oh, she was looking at, you know, we're so emotional, I think, naturally, innately. At least myself. Let me speak for myself as a woman. I'm so emotionally attached to everything. My business, my music, my this, my that. Who's walking across from me is emotional. So and I've learned in this business, sometimes you gotta put your dick on the table and like work from that perspective. Okay, I really gotta that works too.
Do you think if there was a female producer as well as a female artist in a studio, would they be able to work together?
It depends on who's emotionally attached to it and who's about
what
that.
Both of them are.
If they're both emotional, I think you'll have a Mariah Nikki situation. You know what I mean? Like it might get a little emotional.
But they're both artists. I'm talking about producer as well as. There's a difference because producers are very, very humble when it comes to their work.
But they have to be directors as well. Like, and
because
I'm not a producer. We have a producer.
As a producer, you're in control.
You're supposed to be in control. I think the word producer has gotten so like diluted, but. In general, the producer's supposed to produce. So if your artist is in a session and they didn't do it right, or you know in your heart that they could do it better,
it's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility to say that. But the artist also has to have trust in the producer to make sure that, like, oh, I trust my producer. If he knows I can do it better, if I even think I can do it better, let's do it one more time. Like I'll do it better. I'll do it one more time. Like, and that's like any other coach in the world. Like you should look at your producer kind of like a coach. Exactly. You know, like if I get in the booth and we want this,
it's about having the faith.
Well, because you have this, you have the same vision. This all goes back to vision. Like,
bottom line.
If you and whoever you're working with, period, creatively for business, if you guys are aligning on a vision together, you are running towards that vision together. Like, I can't do my job as a manager if I don't have the record that I need from Chris. Like, and he knows that. So if I call and I'm like, so about that hook you were supposed to do for that one track, where's that at? So you know, like, this is my mental schedule, because if I don't have a schedule saying like, okay, if I know the record's gonna come out here and these shows are here and this is what I want to do, you know, like this is what I think. I can't do anything because, and he has to know that we're aligned on that. So he's like, you know what, I really should get this record done by then because I know it's gonna help me and Tiff so we can get to this other space.
So then how about this? So how about as artists, whether you're a woman or a man, I'm sure you all have heard that artists, we're emotional about our work, and sometimes it's some artsy stuff. And so being a woman and being an artist and having all these emotional attachments to this work that I'm doing, and then having someone in my ear saying, but I need it by this time. Well, I didn't birth the baby yet. It's not here. She ain't ready to come out. Or something, you know what I mean? So that's why being a woman in hip hop, being a woman in the industry is delicate and precious and dope, because we're super attached, we're super emotional to this
But sometimes if you don't get up off that emotional stuff, sometimes nothing gets done. Yeah. And that's where I come in.
You have to put all of that aside when you come to work.
But when, like,
you don't take your work home.
Well, that's why there's people in general, and I'm sure we're gonna wrap it up soon, but that's why people in general are there to push. Like Chris was supposed to be done with his record 2 weeks ago. Like somebody asked me, oh, when is it coming out? And I like looked at him and I said, you know what, Chris is right here. Chris.
Why didn't you ask him?
When's this record coming out? And he's like, oh, you know. And I was like, exactly. He's like the 24th of some month.
Make themselves, they make themselves look unprofessional because you're obviously providing.
Well, not even just unprofessional, but like people, it's not like Tiffany wants this record to get done. It's not Tiffany. This isn't about me. This is about what you decided to do, and I'm holding you accountable for what you decided you wanted to do. Because we have work to do.
Everyone has a role to play within a team.
And he is very emotional.
Everybody needs to bring together something for that to be successful.
Exactly.
Whatever that may be.
Exactly.
I know from my own personal experience that I've worked for MTV for the past 13 years, and I started there when I was 19 years old. And I came from a radio background, and I remember listening to lots of new artists and wanting to work with all these artists because I felt like I was in a place that I could help. And having conversations with those people and the new artists, you know, the new sounds that were coming out. I'm an East Londoner, and we've had artists like Dizzy Rascal and Tiny Temper come from my neighbourhood. So it's nice to be able to work with these artists and know that they can be successful not just in the UK but on an international level. And I remember when I was about 17 years old, and Dizzy came into our recording studio and our radio studio, and he was one of my students. And I remember him being one of those individuals where I'm going to make this record, you can like it, or you don't have to like it. It's my record, and this is how I'm going to work it. And I remember him coming out with the record in 07 and going to all the majors and saying, this is my record, what do you think? Do you want to work with me? They said no. He went away, he pushed the record himself. This boy made a lot of money. He just signed over a £40 million deal with Universal Records. That's his money in his pocket. Now if somebody like him, who came from nothing, he had nothing apart from his little Amiga 500, whatever it was he was making music on. And he was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make myself money. He brought in, he set up his own record label, he brought in his friends, his cousins. They built together. And I think no matter how old you are, wherever you come from, if you are going to be successful within this industry, you need to have a great team of people who work with you, and you need to trust each other. Whether you're a man or woman is irrelevant. And as an artist, you need to have direction yourself. I work with two people. One's a DJ, one's a producer, and one's an artist. And the young lady that I work with who's a DJ, she is a model also. But she knows exactly what she wants to do. She knows the brands that she wants to work with. She knows who she wants to play for, what industry she wants to be part of, what corporate events she wants to do, and where she wants to travel to. This is the plan she's done herself. All I did was come on board and say, we're going to do this year, we'll leave this for next year, and we'll leave this for the next 5-year plan. That's, as a manager, that's your responsibility. But you need to make sure that you, I guess, help the individual you're working with, but you also tell them to help themselves. If you have no direction as an artist or a producer or whatever, nobody else can help you. And as far as my working with MTV is concerned, I feel like within the talent and music department, I'm the only female. I'm the only woman of colour. And it's been like that for the past 10 years. And I feel like when I have videos coming from urban artists, everybody in the room, there's like 13 of us in the room, everybody turns around and looks at me and says, do you know who that is? Just because are they your cousin? No, I'm not related to these people. But I feel like I have to explain. I feel like I have to explain why my people are making stupid music like this.
And there are great artists out there. There are great creative individuals out there. Where are they? What are they doing? Don't make music for yourself. Don't make music for just your friends. Make music that can make you money as well as, you know, make you successful. And not just here in your neighborhood. You can make great records for everybody. And I think a lot of the artists in the UK don't cross over to the US because they make money, they make music for themselves.
I will say though, just touching on the UK thing, I think that more recently, like the UK, like underground artists, the underground scene has become way more unified and solidified. And you will be hearing and seeing a lot more of our artists over the next coming years, because when we're speaking about doing things together as a collective and community, that didn't really exist on that scene and that platform, but it's happening. You know, all these blogs, we've got some major blogs now, you know, we have some really kind of high profile, you know, indie artists, and they're working together. The females are working together, the males are working together, the males and the females are working together and doing projects. And I think that's something that over here we don't really see as much as we do in the UK, because I really do like keep an eye on what's going on, and I do promote UK as much as I can wherever I can, because I rep where I'm from. I'm from there, I'm a woman, I rep the women thing as well, but
we just had a young lady by the name of Shiesty who's just done a record with Celia Banks. Now, nobody in the US would have known who she was until she did that record with Celia Banks. And Celia Banks and people like Angel Hayes, I don't know whether you guys know who these artists are. I asked so many people from the US if they knew these artists, and they were like, no, because they went and broke in the UK first. They've just gone and signed with Ireland University in the UK. She's got a second single out, and you ask somebody from New York, oh, do you think they
you will though soon.
You will, but you're going to hear about them later. But these are your artists. I think people in the US embrace those artists after they've made stuff, and you know.
Well, how do you feel about US artists coming over there to break?
Do you know what? I think, regardless of wherever you're from, if you make good music, we want to listen to it.
I have a slightly different view.
I
have a slightly different view. I feel like our UK scene has been so dominated by US culture. If an artist sends me music and it sounds too Americanized, I'm kind of less inclined to post it. Really, like I like UK music.
I don't even know what it. I don't even think I know.
I need to put the music on.
If I listen to like it's funny to me that you're like if it sounds too Americanized, and obviously I'm an American, so I don't really know. But you know, I listen to like Tiny, or you know, like someone like Angel, like you guys like Angel.
That's a pop artist though.
I mean, I see.
There's a difference.
It's crazy. Like
when they reach over here, their style has completely changed. It's been kind of altered so that the Americans will be accepting of it. Once they do that, then it blows up over here. When you actually hear those artists years back when they were doing UK music, like what we listen to, you know, pirate radio type music, and you know, it's totally different. Like you don't.
You have artists from the US going to the UK. Perfect example is Neo. And Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo wasn't a great success in the US, but he had 8 #1 hits.
He was big.
Straight up, just like that, in the charts. They were out 2 weeks. And he was at #1 for weeks after that. Because he makes dance records for that UK and international market.
And
but if he came to the US, there's amazing vocalists, like people who can sing great. But they wouldn't be successful.
We used to be
we
so
don't have
willing
that kind of sound
to
in the
accept
UK.
US artists
The
before
turnaround
we
is
would
very,
accept
very
our
quick.
own, and I think that's a real issue. That was a real issue, and it's not really like that now. We used anything American. If it was American, you know, we'd go out and buy it. Our UK stuff, it stayed kind of relatively hidden. You had to seek out the stations on the radio. You had to go to the obscure channels on satellite television to watch the channel U's or whatever. You know, but like I think it's a good thing. Like we're taking ownership of what's ours. That's important.
I think that's a lesson that's a lesson that can actually transcend amongst the states too, and amongst the different states within the United States, as far as people embracing what comes from them. You know what I mean? And people not being afraid to sound like
yourself.
What is them? I.e., if you're from New York, why do you sound like you're from Atlanta? You know, it's that type of thing. You know, if you're from Atlanta, why do you sound like, you know what I'm saying? Embrace your individual sound, embrace where you're from. Type thing. I think that was a good use of that, because that could probably transcend to all the different territories.
I think we're going to wrap up now. Does anyone have any questions for us?
We covered a lot of ground. We covered a lot.
We did.
I learned more about UK than I ever did.
We're going to send this email.
I just had a quick comment.
Yes.
In regards to the thing that like Monie had these for radio. One of the things that we were saying is, how do we get over this whole like being a woman in the industry? The thing is I would hate to take away our womanhood to try to match the male MC. I think that as women, we do need to grow professionally first, but never take away that emotional, because that's what gives us the edge and the difference and the separation of maybe somebody like a male counterpart. Of course, there's going to be times when we do need to boss up and pull them tears back and get it together and, like I said, handle the business. But like men, they can't, I always mess up on this word, compartmentalize stuff. So we need to go into a situation and say, okay, look, this is the business. This is my personal feelings. You know, this is what needs to get done. This is the goal. And I think that as women, we don't need to take that away per se. We just need to learn how to work with it. So if we have an emotional issue with somebody that we're about to do business for, exactly, we need to put that in a box, lock it up, handle the business like she was saying, do what we have to do. But as women, I don't feel like we should ever take away that side of us, because that would be being not true to who we are and how we are made. We are made to be emotional.
Yeah, I completely agree. And to actually piggyback something, we talked about how we should also help each other, right? So recently I left my job at Translation. I was there for 2 years, working for C-Style as assistant, then moved into new business, and then moved into partnerships. So I was there for about a little over 4 years. And I was supposed to have, an exit meeting with him. And I met with the CMO of State Farm. Her name is Pam Eel, and she's a mutual friend of Steve and I. And she said, well, what are you going to say? What's your strategy for this meeting? This could be a meeting that changes how your relationship is. So she sat with me, and I respect her. She is an executive, the chief marketing officer of State Farm. She's a black executive of that. And she said, she's like, this is how I would do it. This is how I think you should work this meeting. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that. I did everything that we talked about, and I came out of there with everything that I needed to come out of there with. And when we talk about helping, when we talk about being a woman, she likes me because I remind her of her daughter. That's why she messaged me. If I was just to straight up, I'm the business person, don't mess with me, and I wasn't myself or have a bubbly personality or whatever, she would have never seen that, and she would have never identified with me. So when it comes to being a woman, and when it comes to, dealing with men constantly or on every level, I think the biggest thing is making sure that you're still relatable and identifiable, and you're saying, like, don't strip what your identity is, and part of your identity is being a woman, and letting that work for you. I think that's the biggest thing across everything, is just letting it work for you in a way that's authentic to who you are. So I told that story because had I not met with her, and had I heard it from a male, I probably wouldn't have received it the way I did. Mm-hmm. And because I received it the way I did,
been defensive about.
I probably would have been like, how are you gonna tell me how I do my meeting? Like, who is you? But I didn't, and she followed up. That she knew when the meeting was, and she followed up and had me run it back to her.
Your behavior and the way you treat people also.
Exactly. So I appreciate that you made the comment. So it's very true. Any other questions? Like, it's down here, short here. Thank you.
My question was, I guess, more so pertaining to specifically like Nikkiya and Rapsody and Adrift artists. Could you give specific examples of overcoming discrimination, I guess, as far as females, because I guess my root in answering that question is because in my own experience, I've been featured on songs with male artists and taken off because I rap better than them. So, like, that's something that is real and exists. And as a female, you want to compete at the highest level and be considered not necessarily equal, like you're gonna be a man, but equal as far as quality. And in doing that, you know, you can't win. If I'm gonna out rap you because I'm trying to compete, you know, or out whatever it is that you do, out blog, out produce, out whatever, and then, you know, we're gonna take this off and we're gonna put this on so this guy doesn't get, you know, outshined. Like,
it's a great
have
question.
you encountered that, and how do you deal with that?
Coming up, I don't know if you guys are from Atlanta. The Atlanta indie scene is like, you know, it's not just because I live here, it's crazy. The competition here is crazy. That's male, female alike. When I first got here, it wasn't like that. So I used to go through what you go through. You know, like I would come in to a little open mic, I want to rock, and they're like, oh, she's cute, she's probably going to do some poetry. We'll put her on last. And those stragglers that stayed last, I would, you know, I would focus on. When I got on that stage, I ripped it. The next week, I was a little up on the list. Got on the stage, I ripped it. The next week, well, Drift, just come on and do a song real quick because they came to see you. And I ripped it. You have to make your presence known. If they take you off the song, fine. Do your own song. You know what I mean? You can't, don't focus on necessarily with, you know, I hear what y'all saying about, you know, you being a female. I get it. My goal is to be the best Drift I could be. It's a competitive market, great. You know, I'm gonna outdo me, and I'm gonna always outdo you because I'm not paying attention to you. You know what I mean? And that's what you gotta do. You gotta, like they saying with the feelings, it's not about feelings. You're an MC. MC. And they'll come back and put you on the song. They're gonna ask you to be on the song. Watch.
Rapsody? Yeah, I agree with what she said. If they take you off the song and you rap better than them, that means you're doing it right.
You're supposed to be doing it.
You know, that.
Can I say something real quick?
No, I mean, just to, you know, that means you're doing right. So, you know, just keep those blinders on and keep working on your craft. Because good music, you can't deny good music. So if niggas respect you, excuse my French, if they respect you, you know, you're going to get that love from somebody. They're going to be talking about you. Whether they took you off the song, they know you and they know you hot. So, you know, just build off that and keep continuing on your path.
Also, another thing as artists, male or female, I think people depend too much on features or other things. You know, let me tell you something. We're in a day and age, and I'm not gonna. You're in a beautiful age. You get YouTube. More stars. I search YouTube all day for new artists because that's how I make my money off of trends. Some are radio trends, some are online trends, and I think that if you did Mac. Whatever, I don't have the Mac, like iPad, MacBook, like now you can do everything yourself. So I really think that as an artist, that hot verse, you need to put it up on YouTube and get a community around, going back to that community word, that's the key word of the evening, and really like build your fan base off of, because people know nice is nice, hot is hot, there's no denying it. You know when you have a hot song, it's like yes or no. You know when you have an okay song, you know when you have a heartfelt song. So I just think that verse or whatever you have, you need to just go, like how she said, do your own song, but also put it out, because now you have a piece on the internet where you can reach millions of people. A Little B, I would suggest you subscribe to Little B. I watched him all day because I'm amazed by him. I actually did his album release 2 years ago when he was signed to Amalgam, and he's just such a strange creature. So I literally spent half of my day, 24 hours, subscribed to Little B. And what he does all day, or from his phone, is answer every YouTube comment. Like if somebody gets World Star Hip Hop, he will do everything, and that's how he built his community. He doesn't have,
and that's how he keeps it.
And yep, that's the key word, keeps it too. So I think that as you know, you're young, you know, you have all this going for you. You have time, you know, you have time on your side. So when you have time on your side, you could sit there, even if you're at a BS job, hey, let me stick in my little YouTube, you know, comments and reply back to my fan. And if it starts at 10 and it starts at 100, the goal is to get 1,000 fans. Once you have 1,000 fans, you could literally make at least $40,000 to $50,000 a year. You just need 1,000 people that hardcore love you, and then when you drop an iTunes single, when you drop a T-shirt, when you go on tour, once you get those 1,000 fans, you'll be good for the rest of your life if you sustain them, and they're only gonna grow.
Rapsody, did you want to answer?
She did.
Any more questions?
Hi, my name is Luke. I have a question. I guess more so based on industry climate. I was speaking to somebody that's more seasoned, I guess, in the industry than myself. They were saying as a female artist, especially in hip hop, since it's so male dominated, in order to get introduced, you need a male to introduce you. So I was wondering if you ever thought, sometime in the next decade, if the first lady syndrome would ever crumble and there be a situation where, for instance, like when Eve came out, DMX introduced her, or Foxy Brown was introduced by Jay-Z, or Kim was introduced by Biggie. Do you think we'll ever get somewhere in the industry where a woman can introduce herself?
Like we've been there already. Monie, we've been there.
We've been there.
I know we've been there.
No. You're absolutely right. We've been there. Then we've gone. No. And then we get to that time, and it's that, and then I don't think. Yeah, she was. Oh, never mind. I was gonna make a point, Nikki, with it. No, but she did kind of come through. Yeah, never mind.
I think.
But hopefully we'll get there again.
Someone has to stay there long enough. Like someone has to be classy enough to stay there long enough. I mean, I feel like Missy, for instance. I feel like she didn't have to, like her Missy is in a point in her career where she can and is starting to introduce other people. But the thing is, like, it has to get whoever's gonna do it, whoever's gonna be that person, whoever's gonna be that female, whoever. They have to be somewhere in their career where it's not it's not just about the music, it's about the respect level. So that's why there are people that can do that. We respect the Jay-Z's and the da-da-da. But those guys, they don't have it right all the time either. Like Tierra Marie, I don't know what she's doing. But she was supposed to be the first lady of the rock. You know what I mean? But like, and she has a great voice, she has some talent. Like, I just don't know what happened.
Even those people who introduce those great artists can get it wrong.
But the crazy thing is, which brings back to what we were saying, is, and I'll go as far as to tell you this real small tidbit. Missy and I speak every damn day. If anybody, like, we constantly. She wants to do. You don't know how many conversations we've had about Monie. I really want to do something like a fleet. Yeah. I think and she's on some everybody dreams.
And if she likes something, even if she doesn't know about you, she will go and find out who you are, what you've done, and where you've come from.
What's that girl's name?
From down south.
Dondria? Right. Something like that. I remember being at Violator and Mona being like, some girl, Missy, fat, something, down south, find her. And I'm like, I need keywords. I need more. And the next thing I knew, like, the girls, doing her thing. I was like, that doggone Missy Elliott. She likes something.
But she wants to do something, and hopefully we will get to a point where it would be dope for female to introduce another female specifically in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That would be absolutely dope, and hopefully we'll come to a point where we can do that. I can personally tell you I have the same insecurity about it, and Missy does too, because we speak about this all the time. Because of the cattiness among women, we're kind of reluctant, because we don't know if we help and then they'll turn around and
do something else,
scream on us and just as crazy on Twitter, or it's just so weird and so crazy. I think we need to get good with ourselves, with each other.
It's about building relationships
first, and then hopefully we'll see that happen. You know what I'm saying?
I'll just chime in real quick. I feel that as a female, first of all, I feel history repeats itself. So I think that we are at the time where Monie and Queen Latifah and all that, I think it's coming soon. Because you see every other trend is coming, so that's bound to happen. But I just also think that I think it depends on the music. And I think once you get out there, let's say Little Mama was popping, but you have to control you have to move forward, and you have to really go out there and run the yard once you get an opportunity. Like, you can't just like, okay, now I'm gonna sit on a TV show. No, like, you gotta like really go out and make another hit and really be a force where people respect you and really like build your community again, because then you just become, because females have opportunity, like, you know, spaced out without a male because of their song was just that dope and it just caught on. But when they got to that plateau, they didn't capitalize it to the next level. You know, so I just think, you know, whatever female comes out that does get that chance, and, you know, I don't know, it looks like it's, you know, Krayshawn, like, you know, I'm not a big Krayshawn fan, but, you know, I bought the album. Is you just have to do little things like that to help the climate, because
No, see, I'm not doing that.
I
feel you.
No, I know.
I feel you. No, I feel you. I absolutely feel you, but I'm not doing that.
Monie.
No, I'll explain myself. No. You know what? I probably should have thought that and not said it.
I'll give you the album by this girl, Nitty Scott MC. I love this girl, Nitty Scott MC. Not only is she an amazing personality, a sweetheart, she rips it. She stays like, she is feminine. She's not like, I'm gonna just be a man on the mic or whatever. Like, she is a female, she is an MC, she is a part of a new generation that I feel like a new generation of MCs that are so still very much attached to the root of what this creativity is about, of hip hop. And I feel like when we talk about who's next, or when we talk about people that support and that sort of stuff, you know, aside from the folks that are up here, look out for this woman. Tweet her, find her, be her friend. She's really nice. Like, she's a part of that new wave. So hopefully we can be a part of making sure and supporting her growth, so that she can be maybe one of those women, you know?
Yeah, and Liquid, I don't know where you went, but shout out to the homie. Hey babe, she's from my hometown. But I think too, it's kind of a deadly, not a deadly cycle, but it's definitely a cycle. Like, there's 100 men and 10 women. So you're not gonna have a lot of women to bring up, you know, the next crew. You know, and out of these 100 men that are running this shit, they're gonna bring in more men. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm just saying it's a cycle, and like, to piggyback off what you're saying, Tiffany, the more we support each other as women, the more we'll change the statistics of who's at the top. You know, we need to get more women up at the top so that we can run it. You know,
in explaining my little remark right there, which I feel like I need to do.
No, you don't need to. 3,000.
No, because I respect everybody on this panel. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying?
You already got me hyped. You doing that female rapper moving your hands. That's hip hop to me. All it is, that's hip hop.
Exactly, but you know, just a little tidbit, because that was really thinking out loud. That was really the epitome of thinking out loud right there. But I totally do support. I want to support. I want to help push. I want to create platforms. I do the Ladies First Showcase in Miami every month, and I have females come in from wherever, from England, from Australia, from wherever, and put them up. I really want to support. I do get a little nervous about it sometimes, because we're so crazy amongst ourselves that I can never tell when a female's going to turn around and bite the hand that helped us, that type thing, you know what I'm saying? And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you're a male or a female, anything whack, I'm not supporting.
Right.
Because, because one thing I notice about classic hip hop artists, a lot of us now, is we're just saying okay to anything because we're scared somebody's going to rant on us on Twitter or something
But
like
can I
that.
just interject you?
Yeah.
I'm in the beast every day. So you have to understand how I see it. I just see it like they feel like they're giving somebody a shot. They invest a lot of money into her, and by her feeling, they just push it. Like I really think that all the labels work together, and they pick certain people, and I just think that it's gonna continue with this Nicki Minaj thing. So my reasoning for doing it was more so it's just like I just want somebody to make some type of impact, just other than because maybe they could go out and be like, oh, well, maybe let me go to Fader and see who else is on there and not have to blow up in the UK, so I could just take them and give them a budget. There should be no reason why US artists are going somewhere to get high. Right. There should be no reason why, you know, you see somebody and you recommend them and they're like, okay, let me give you a development deal for $50,000, you know, or, you know, let me do something. They're not like, I think her deal was over excessive. I saw her in Vegas and I have this on footage so she can't say nothing. She was just like, yo, she don't even write her own stuff. So as a female who is like somebody who says that, like, you know, who that's what we about, is writing your own music, especially your lyrics. I respect that, but I just wanted something to give an opportunity for somebody else and open the budgets. It's all about the budget.
One last question.
Oh, Jesus, why him?
I don't know, you should be loud.
And I was helping your point out. I think the biggest microcosm when Monie was talking about women working together is first understanding the power that especially black women have. Like, we as men do everything, but we go get our haircut because of y'all, not because of us. You know what I mean?
You like having bad hair?
Huh?
You like having bad hair?
They just don't care.
You just don't care. You just don't care. That's one thing. And another thing is, the thing that I noticed that's the problem within just women working together is when it was mostly black women that talked about Gabby Douglas. It was mostly black.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? And that's just a small, and if they're doing it in gymnastics, I think they're doing it in hip-hop.
Yeah.
I love you, Monie.
Thanks, Nine.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are available via Twitter if anyone wants to contact you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very much about listening to new music. You can drop me a line on Twitter as well. I work with lots of new artists, so I'd love to hear.
At Tiffany_.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. You guys were all fabulous. I'm honored to have been sitting at the table with you.